You have traveled far, first by boat and then by carriage, to the realm of my city, of light spreading through the land, and the kings offered a reward for solving it. The nights are growing strange, serpentine lights flowing through them like water. And the days grow hot and dry. Crops are dying, and soon famine will follow. And now you arrive at your childhood town of Havenwood.
Well then, welcome to Havenwood. Havenwood being the starting town of the ostensibly classic game Basilisk 2000. As you can perhaps see, however, this is far from your typical RPG. In fact, this is more game editor than game. You know me. You know my thoughts. Or at least you can if you subscribe. I love strange indie art games, so when I see one, I click. Kira's store page on itch asked for a mere $2 for this game. And I gotta preface this review / shallow dive into it with a hearty recommendation. If you're the sort of player who finds genuine puzzles and mysteries fascinating, you probably owe it to yourself to give Basilisk 2000 a whirl. Articulating further the nature of this game and its narrative structure, you find yourself approaching this game in a wholly unique way that might be familiar to anyone with experience using game development editors such as Unity, Hammer for Source Engine, or Godot. Basilisk 2000's editor, though, is an aspect of the fiction, and is presented as an RPG that would have launched perhaps in the year 2000, if it wasn't for, well... You're given a surface level of control inside the game, walking, looking around, prompting a single text box to appear in front of NPCs as you approach. Perhaps a weapon if you find the right. Instead of the approach of a traditional RPG, you dabble with a more total control, a control approximate to that of a game developer toying with a work in progress. But I want to talk about something more specific that happened to me while playing this game. I want to talk to you about how I got more frightened by this game than I have by games in years. It all started when I got out of bed around 2 in the morning, tried getting back to sleep, still kind of recuperating from a cold. That's why I haven't been uploading videos in the last such and such, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, 2 in the morning, back on the computer I went. I had already poked around Basilisk 2000 twice before that, finding a network of maps all being referenced by NPCs scattered around the wastes. I had found the office on one of these prior explorations, and written it off as a meta little showcase displaying the fictional developers of the game. Only something pushed me to give this place another look. I mean, if there's going to be a crack in this strange and abstractly meta puzzle, I figured one piece, where that was most likely to happen, would be the office. Only, I couldn't really find any clues, other than a strange note on a desk and a door that led to, well, missing, whatever that might mean. Undeterred and gripped by a grim and sickly curiosity of post-pneumonia, I began to click through the employees. I took each of their lives manually. At the moment, it felt crueler than just about anything I'd ever done before in a video game. This was far from the flippant slaughter of a powerful video game protagonist. This was the behavior of a capricious, bored, and frankly sleepy god. When it was done, though, This sudden loaded transition made for one of the most horrific developments in a game I've ever experienced. We're talking full-on, extra late night, 3 a.m. caliber goosebumps. No one but myself was to blame. I had brought about the office's demise. Disheartened, frightened, I returned to that ominous note that I had found on the employee's desk, where once he announced his intent to burn down the office, he now decried his innocence. One survivor, hiding alone in the bathroom, hoping not to be found by him, whoever he might be. Was I the true culprit of this massacre? Or was this a mass murder played out in facsimile, gesturing vaguely in the direction of the true culprit? Does the Basilisk reside within the lead developer, David Bunch? Or does it reside within the player? I'm still searching for the answers hidden within Basilisk 2000. The game opens up like a hand-peeled onion, revealing ever greater and stranger clues as to the narrative that lurks beneath the surface. An audio file betrays the name of an arena. Inside, the crowd cheers on, over the slaughter. Deeper still lay the digital impression of a crime scene, an allusion to the true aftermath of a slaying in our modern world. Basilisk 2000 is a puzzle game, wrapped in an enigma, disguised as an RPG game editor. I think perhaps the best way to approach this gaming experience is with a friend or two over Discord, plucking away at the mystery in tandem, at least until you eventually give up and consult the ancient texts and try to find all the answers that elude you. This game drips with spooky style, appropriate given the developer's previous game, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. Even looking around the starting town of Havenwood can be creepy, especially if you do it at night, on account of the game's real-time day-night cycle tracking you. Sure, night or day, the graves are actually filled with the bodies of the dead, in a way that they aren't in 99% of games with a graveyard. And of course that's failing to mention the mutilated corpse of your childhood rival who happens to be tucked in the attic of one of the homes. But at night there are goblins, and goblins are scary. There's a darkness to the depths of this game, seldom grasped in games both indie and non. If you appreciate horror or want to experience a truly inspired approach to video game narrative design, then you owe yourself the $2 price of admission to Basilisk 2000. There are far more mysteries to uncover that I haven't even touched on in this video. Some I wouldn't even dare.
This is a donut. It is very sweet and very good. But if you'd never tasted a donut, you wouldn't really know